Here are some of the biggest improvements I've seen in just 1 hour with a student. The original swing is on the left and the newer swing is on the right. And so we'll start in the takeaway where we made a lot of improvements to how the trail wrist works. Now, the only downside to some of these improvements is that the club is starting to work a little bit inside and underneath in the takeaway. But for right now, it's not a major concern given the positions he's able to hit. So if we take a look at the wrist position of the trail wrist, you're going to see that the trail wrist is able to go into extension and that palm is pointed more toward the ground, versus in the original, there's absolutely no extension and it's a very straight trail wrist. At the top of the swing, what you'll see is that there's still no extension of that trail wrist, and therefore the club winds up pointed very across the line at the top. As we work our way up to the top, because of these changes we made to the takeaway, what you're going to see is that that trail elbow can fold rather than get very high and cause the club to go across the line at the top. A couple good points of reference would be the lead arm here is going closer to through the shoulder plane than in the original, which is a lot more vertical. Because of the wrist angles and because of how that trail arm works, the club winds up being closer to parallel with our target line and severely less across the line at the top. Positioning of his trail elbow and where the club is at the top made it a lot easier for him to stay in posture and rotate through the golf swing. He wasn't able to rotate, and what he would do is flip his hands to the ball, and so in order to make better contact, he moved the ball back in the stance, which just led to a lot of inconsistency, a lot of heel contact, toe contact, maybe some hooks. And so as we work into the downswing, what I want you to look at is how he's able to stay in posture in the new swing and how this club is able to stay a lot closer to on plane. He's a lot more bent from the waist versus in the original. He's really rotating the upper body hard in the new swing. We continue to work down. You can see that in the new swing, the club's able to work a lot closer to on plane versus way underneath the plane. My favorite position is actual contact. His chest has really opened up toward target in this position. Again, he stays bent from the waist. This is such an awesome visual because you can really tell that he's able to rotate that lead hip. He's able to rotate that chest toward target. As in the original, if we look at contact, you can see his chest is actually still pointed a little bit toward the camera. You can tell his lower body has kind of spun out, and he's really just releasing the hands to the ball, and they're really trailing his body. Whereas in the new swing, you can tell that that trail arm is working more in front of his trail hip versus behind. He's able to rotate the body to really pull that handle through as it disappears while leaving the club head in frame, versus the club head has disappeared in the original swing. That means that he's really flipped his hands through impact. Overall, just a lot more powerful and significantly improved contact. And as you can see in the exit position, the club has not been flipped. However, he has still been able to turn it over. If we look at the original, he had flipped his hands, so the club face is pointed more downward as he works through.